this day happens. They've asked me to read I'm a writer. I would prefer you read what I write, but I'm going to read it now. The plaque for the old Bridge Street Church. And I emphasize the occasion. I took one specific occasion, which was Emancipation Day, which has got some relevance today because yesterday, June 19th, was Juneteenth. And so many of the Africans didn't find out until June of 1865 about the emancipation, but those who found out, those who really celebrated here. And as far as I'm aware, I believe it's the only African-American church, or at least I know it's the largest, that's still standing from that day. So here's the plaque. In January 1863, an historic three-day celebration of the Emancipation Proclamation occurred here at the Bridge Street African Wesleyan Methodist Episcopal Church. On Wednesday night, New Year's Eve, known as Watch Night in the church's tradition of annually awaiting the start of a new year, hundreds of black and white Brooklyn citizens attended the service in anticipation of President Abraham Lincoln's promise to sign the proclamation on New Year's Day. On Thursday, January 1st, 1863, the Bridge Street Church remained open all day as word spread that President Lincoln had signed the proclamation, freeing 4 million African-American men, women, and children. People came hourly into the chapel to express their joy in meetings, speeches, prayers, and songs, and their concern about the ongoing Civil War. On Friday, January 2nd, 1863, a formal program of speakers at the Bridge Street Church included African-American historian William Wells Brown and abolitionist Theodore Tilden. The Bridge Street Church served prominently in the anti-slavery movement as an abolitionist meeting place and a station of the Underground Railroad, hiding freedom seekers in the church basement with local abolitionist leaders Henry Ward Beecher, Henry Highland Garnett, J.W.C. Pennington, James Gloucester, Arthur and Lewis Tappan, and John H. Raymond, a founder of Polytechnic University. And sites like the Plymouth Congregational, Siloam Presbyterian, and Concord Baptist Church, Brooklyn became a national hub of abolitionist and anti-slavery activities, the nation's first human rights campaign. In February 1863, the nation's leading civil rights activist, Frederick Douglass, spoke at the Bridge Street Church, delivering a stirring speech on the need for black soldiers in the Union ranks. Douglass used the Bridge Street address a few weeks later to launch his historic Men of Color to Arms campaign, which recruited 200,000 African-American soldiers for the Union cause. In October 1865, Harriet Tubman, the nation's most famous conductor of the Underground Railroad, visited the church and was welcomed by an immense congregation fully half consisting of whites, reported the Brooklyn Daily Eagle. And she was hailed for her war heroics as a Union scout and nurse. At that time, 18-year-old Susan Smith McKinney was the church's young organist. Born and raised in Weeksville, she was an activist in missionary work and the suffragist movement, and she became the first black female doctor of New York State. The Bridge Street Church's origins extend back to 1766, when black and white members met at the Sand Street Methodist Episcopal Church. Racial tensions